Slowly climb up, perhaps on horseback, the 3 hills of Padria, the Roman Gurulis Vetus. San Paolo, San Pietro, San Giuseppe are awaiting you. They bear the names of saints because somehow they are a gate to paradise, a fragment of perfection that, looking more closely, can also be noticed in the work of those men that here built the splendid Catalan Gothic church dedicated to San Julia. A small yet charming museum leads us through the town's most ancient history, beginning with the Nuragic civilization. We are at the beginning of our journey across the territory of Villanova, a region in western Sardinia in the province of Sassari, an area of 300 square kilometers with less than 5,000 inhabitants spread across 5 municipalities: Padria, Mara, Romana, Monteleone Roccadoria, and a stone's throw from Alghero, Villanova Monteleone, the most important centre. No, this is not an itinerary for mass tourism or for a here-today, gone-tomorrow vacation. This is the ideal path for those who seek an alternative holiday, for those who are eager to discover hidden gems of history, or to contemplate the changing landscape, different in every season, which without ever being confusing, will always give you new emotions. This is an immense open-air gym, ideal for those who love doing sports, keeping fit and exploring the surroundings with no haste, away from crowded beaches, away from the hustle. Here, you can wander in search of new places, or perhaps just in search of yourself. Get back on horseback. We're going to set off for places full of magic. A journey through history with the mysterious Nuraghi and its invisible characters, along the water springs paths and overlooking the adjacent sea. A journey which at every curve, at every footpath, at every village will give you new emotions. The murmur of past lives can be perceived while walking through the necropolises and the giants' graves. The remains of castles such as the Bonu Iginu stronghold in Mara, built on a rocky peak, or the magnificent Rococo-style church, testify to the splendour of the industrious population, which even at the fall of a great civilization managed to preserve its ingenuity without being overtaken by the culture of the conquerors. Nearby, in a grotto in 3700 BC, an important page of the millenary Sardinian history has been written. Monteleone Roccadoria is a gem to climb on. With a touch of imagination, we can still hear the echoes of ancient battles and duels of knights resounding in its medieval hamlet, overcast by the Sumonte, the White Mountain, watching over the village. While nature imposes its presence with its undeniable beauty, history is instead still, something to contemplate through the traces of a past marked by victories, defeats, times of glory and decline, following the eternal wheel of destiny. Leave the horse downstream. Perhaps you can reach the village by bike. Yes, it is hard, but once you will get there, the delight will be even greater. Yet not as much as climbing onto the immaculate limestone faces. Here, every gesture will feel like a challenge to history. Little by little, you are about to conquer those same places which were so dear to the great Uigisa, female judge, or queen in the Sardinian language, Eleonora d'Arborea. Down in the valley, you can catch sight of the lake in all its charm. The canoe awaits you to row to the opposite shore and to imagine how the land used to be before the water submerged it. Tall branches emerge, recalling the past of a valley rich of vegetation and green pastures. Leave the canoe. The mountain bike awaits you for the next leg. Quiet streets. Sufficient indications will help you discover the simplicity of those enchanting places you were seeking and which will make your holiday an alternative experience. The air is thin. Just another push on the pedals and the bike will take you to Romana. Numerous murales colour the houses of the village. 2 kilometers away, you will have the chance to admire the beautiful church dedicated to Saint Lusorio, almost entirely carved into limestone. If you get thirsty during the journey, you will be pleased to find out that this generous land also offers water, fountains and springs in abundance, flowing through the greenery of a luxuriant nature. The water trails in this area are an itinerary hovering between sacredness and devotion to nature. Romana is famous for the healing virtues of the Abargente springs, while the water of Mudeju is delicious and slightly carbonated. Not surprisingly, The point from which a fresh sister water flows is called Su Paradiso. In Villanova Monteleone, you will find instead the Su Cantoru Springs. And since you finally got to Villanova, final destination of our journey, you can follow your instinct and dive into the sea. It might be refreshing after the climb. However, you will have to go down a little until you reach the coast. Here, between Pogliana and L'Esperanza, the dominant colour is the blue of the sea that competes in brightness with the clear skies in spring. They say the Sardinian Sea is by definition beautiful, but without falling in excessive patriotism, here it is really something special. Have you ever seen a horse with a green coat? It lives in the tales of the elderly people, but if you would like to, you could go and take a look at the tracks it left thousands of years ago in front of the Puttucodinu necropolis. The mysterious Cadospiedes used to graze precisely between Villanova and Monteleone, but only the King Shepherd was allowed to ride them, perhaps up until the Mount Minerva, a magnificent plateau that is now a natural oasis of great value, with its 2,500 hectares of scents, colours and emotions. Sardinia is a region for all seasons. Thus once again, let us climb up the hills, up the protected climbing routes. The climbing activities are waiting for us. The canoe is ready to cross the quiet stillness of the artificial lake, while the griffin vultures will be circling in the sky and guiding you during your excursions. Everything is stillness and delight. So says the poet, or at least this is the feeling that the journey through the little villages of Villanova suggests. Indeed, in addition to the gifts of nature, the area boasts magic colours, such as those of the ancient costumes or those chosen by artists. Above all, Brancaleone Cogusi, from Romana, unique in the way he sanctified everyday life and inimitable in the way he made the everyday experience sacred. Like the great poet Ivo Piras, who with his verses was able to portray landscapes and people. These are the people you will get to meet if during your itinerary you will decide to stop over in the little villages. Just stop at a cafe and have a chat with the locals. They are the offspring of an ancient land. They will keep you company with their wisdom. And after a day of fatigue, treat yourself to a nice dinner. You will find holiday farms, typical restaurants offering genuine food and bed and breakfast to rest. But there is still time. Let us continue to climb. There is still a long way to go, and it has never been so beautiful.